Hello and welcome to Topham Chats, the show where I usually chat to various members of the Rooster Teeth community. This week my guest is Raf. Hey Raf, how's it going?
Pretty well. How are you doing,
Yeah,
Dave?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a really long day, but there's been lots of awesome things that have happened. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So
That's always great. Awesome
yeah,
things are always good.
Raf's on again because today I kind of want to be a bit self-indulgent and keep it short and talk about how 2014 was for me and like kind of reflect a bit on how 2014 was for Raf as well. Next week will be the same, but talking about looking forward to 2015 as well. And as this one's coming out on Christmas Day, I'm just trying to get something out because it's yeah, rather than go for something new, I want to try and get something familiar going out. So that's what I'm going for. So I'm just going to start with a relatively simple
Well,
question. Oh,
if
go
this is
ahead.
coming out on Christmas Day, I guess we should say Merry
Oh
Christmas to
yeah, I guess we
everyone then,
should say
right?
Merry Christmas. Yeah, Merry
I
Christmas,
mean, we could
everyone.
be self-indulgent, but I think we could give the people at least a Merry Christmas today.
Yeah, I was at least going to say it at the end anyway. So.
Oh, my bad. Totally fucking stole your thunder there. My bad, bro.
So what over 2014 have you been, I guess, grateful for, and what's been awesome to you, and what stood out as something that was awesome in your year?
2014 it's been interesting, definitely. Definitely with the transition from like towards more the end of the year, like now, like
Yep.
starting to play more PS4. That's been really cool, and like slowly moving away from last gen consoles. That's been interesting. I did a lot of traveling in 2014. That I could say.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I got to see the West Coast. I went out to Cali. That was fucking cool. RTX got to go to Texas again, so that was great as well. Finally got to meet people from the site that I've interacted with over a year. So like Deco, Shelby, Stewart, to name a few,
Yeah.
Ken and Bonnie and all those people.
Yeah.
So that was really fucking awesome, especially because it's people from the UK that I never really thought I was gonna see. You know, there's always that hope that like, hey, we're gonna definitely like meet up one day,
Yeah.
and it was just cool to like actually hang out in person, and it was all really just chill and relaxed.
Ah, awesome. Yeah, I did a lot
Yeah.
of traveling this year as well. I went up to Scotland a few times to meet people at like community events up there. I went to the I went to Leicester to meet people there, and like next week I'm going to London to meet a bunch of people there as well, which will be awesome because yeah, meeting people from the community is just excellent. It's just so much fun.
Yeah,
And
man. There was like that what like a good 2 or 3 month period where you were out at events like every
so
2 or 3 weeks
frequently,
or something.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was cool.
I just have had loads of things set up, and I was just like, oh, I just luckily I can afford myself the opportunity to go and like seize the opportunities that are available. So like, yeah, it's been a pretty good year. The beginning of the year, it was actually it was either beginning of like end of January or beginning of February. I went to my first community event, which was up in Scotland, and like I travelled up there, and it just happened to work out that I met so many people up there, and just it really I don't know if it drew me more into the community as much as it just introduced me to a whole bunch more people as well. But like I always managed to like have a decent number of people around anyway, so it's not
Right.
been too bad.
I was gonna ask you, did you feel like after like your first community meetup that like you kind of just became addicted to it and you're like, oh my god, I just want to go to all of these things because they're so amazing.
Yeah, kind of like I kind of regret that I wasn't around for RVB UK last year in 2013, but it was just unfeasible for me. I think I realized that it was on about 3 days before it was on, and I had plans for the weekend already, so it's
Hmm.
just unviable for me to go. So I was just like, eh. But then once I did go to the Scotland meetup, I was just like, this is awesome. And then yeah, since then I've just been meeting people. A lot of the people that I've met this year I've sent cards to. One I forgot. I There's a glaring omission of someone that I forgot, and I'm just like,
Hmm.
I haven't even messaged them yet. I totally mean to, and I'm just like, I can't believe I forgot that person just because they've been so like excellent and awesome to me. But I'm gonna be speaking to him at some point soon, hopefully over the next day, and yeah, but yeah, it's awesome always to meet people, but it really does give me the enthusiasm just to be like, yes, this is what I want to do, and these are a whole bunch of people, and yeah, it's really helped with like other community projects as well because I'm like, oh, I know this person and this person and this person, I've met them, and yeah, it makes it easier also to like approach people and also have people be like, oh yeah, he's awesome, go and do that thing with him because he's excellent, and like it's also helped me with other things, like not just like because like a lot of people have met me now. Like I say, a lot of people, quite a few people in the UK community have met me, and they're always like, "Oh, he's really enthusiastic all the time." Like, go back a year or so, and I wasn't that person. I wasn't like enthusiastic and jumping all over the place, like when I actually met people. But now it's just like constant source of energy for everyone to just be like, "Yes, let's do things, let's have some fun." And so,
Well,
it's
I feel like ever since we started talking, every time we've talked, you've always kind of been in that jumpy, all over the place, super excited, enthusiastic mood. I don't think I've ever seen you, or at least heard you, because we've never actually seen one another.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, minus the videos.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever heard you be in like a sad or kind of crappy mood. And I feel like even when you have been like just a little bit down or something, you still managed to
Yeah.
keep that upbeat feeling.
Even though I'm
It's a good
furious
quality to
at
have, man.
something. Yeah, even if I'm like furious at something, I've still got a jovial side to me though. I'm just like, yeah, it's fine, but like there's still snide remarks and things like that in there. But it's like, yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to like kick the negativity out the way. So I'm just like, oh god, that's that's something that I don't want to. It's not that I don't necessarily want to deal with it. It's just that it's probably worth my time focusing on other things as well. But
Absolutely.
yeah, this year's taught me a lot in terms of that as well. Like it's just taught me a lot in terms of if I want to see change and I want to see people doing things, maybe I should do them first and encourage a change or something of that aspect, which is something that very very recently has been something that I've been like, yes, that's what I totally should do, and I seized that, and something's gone very well for me recently in terms of just recognition for doing something nice that I didn't even like think about. I was like immediately went straight into it. But yeah, I know I'm talking in circles, and I don't want to explicitly say things because I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, I'm the greatest, blah blah blah. But I just want to be me and just like try and keep things reserved and cool and calm where they are. So yeah, that's what
I think you're doing a really good job. Don't worry, you're fine.
Okay.
If you start going off track, I'll keep you on track. But I think
cool.
you're doing quite well.
Cool. So let's talk about different things. Let's talk about the games that we've played this year. What games have you played this year that have been great and fun, and what have been your favorite games of the year?
Dude, I can't honestly. I had a conversation with Rowan about this like 2 weeks ago, where we were talking about like games of 2000, like what would be our best like favorite 2000 game of 2015 on current gen, and it's just like I can't pull up anything that I really really enjoyed on current gen that was like mind blowing and super fantastic, and that I really enjoyed. Um, I guess I could say the pre-sequel has been really good. That's one of the ones I still haven't finished it, but that's one of those games that I played and I really enjoyed. I spent a lot of time in Loadout in like the beginning of the year, and that game was really fun. I really enjoyed that.
Did that just come out for
on
PS4? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's out on the PS4 free now, but it definitely handles much better on the PC.
Yeah.
That's one thing, but it was one of those games that's like a silly shooter, and it was just fun as hell. I'm really trying to think, and I can't tell you like what the hell I played this year that like really just blew me away. I feel like this year kind of lacked in gaming for me.
Yeah, I mean, with all like the huge releases that there's been recently, nothing really stood out as being exceptional. The only game that I've sunk I think I've probably spent about 100 hours in it now is Destiny, and like I only just took a punt at that. I was like, oh, I'll just play a bit of Destiny. I'll just get it to see what all the fuss is about, and then I just got hooked on it. And I think it's easily my favorite game of the year. But that's not saying much about the other games that have come out, because I haven't played Halo 1 or 2, so I'm wanting to play those on Xbox One, but I haven't had the opportunity to do that. They're there and they're sitting, and I'm like, I'll play them, but Destiny's drawn me away, so I'm just like trying to get through that. And yeah, like I said, Destiny's like destroying it for me. I'm just loving it, but I know that other people have their griefs with it, so
I think Destiny's a two-way game where it's either you love it or you're just not fond of it, you know?
Yeah.
Not even that you hate it, you're just not fond of it.
Yeah.
Like, you could appreciate it from afar, but, like, it just doesn't hook you. And I think I'm in that spectrum of things. Like, I'm waiting for there to be, like, a full DLC that's just a lot of content that I could sink into.
Okay, yeah.
Because, like, the way that I saw it is, like, I expected a giant meal, and I just got an appetizer.
Okay.
And it was just like, I've been hungry for like a year for this. what are you fucking giving me? I want more. So like I can't say I don't like Destiny. It was a solid multiplayer game, and the co-op and the raids were fun, but it's just like it didn't hook me, you know. I would say Dragon Age. Dragon Age probably might be the game that like really sold me as a game that like really also kind of dragged me into it
Ah.
because I've been playing that the hell out of that and it's fun as hell.
Yeah, I've seen lots of people say good things about that, but it's not one of the
Mm.
games that I think interests me at all because I had some time with the earlier ones and I was just like, I'm not too interested in playing that at all because it
Mm.
just didn't handle the way I'd really want it to handle. So I'm just like, oh, I'll just leave it, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
See, I went into it blind. I never actually played the original Dragon Ages. I actually had canceled my pre-order because, well, I thought I had canceled it because I was running a little bit low on cash, and I was like, oh, I got to make some some cancellations on some pre-orders, got to save some money. And then I walked out of class one day, and I got a message from Amazon like, oh, your fucking shipment of Dragon Age has been shipped. I'm like, oh. Well, I guess I'm gonna be playing that now, and it was one of those screw ups that like I don't regret. And
Yeah.
I'm really having a lot of fun with it, so I can't complain.
Ah, cool. Yeah. The only other game I've really sank like hours and hours into. Actually, there's two games I've sank hours and hours into, and that was Final Fantasy X and 10-2, the HD remaster, and Kingdom Hearts 1.
Hmm.
But Kingdom Hearts 1 came out last year, and Final Fantasy X came out earlier this year. But they're games I played in the past, and I just wanted the nostalgia factor. And
Right.
it kicks me right into nostalgia, so I'm just like, I'll play this for hours and hours and hours.
Are you ready to get kicked into nostalgia one more time when it gets released on the PS4?
No! No, I'm not buying it again. No, not a chance. I want to, but I'm not gonna. God, crazy. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about something entirely different yet again,
Okay.
and then hopefully we'll segue into something similar in the vein that I'm going for. But
All right.
the song that I've had as my alarm all year is a song called "Grow Up" by Paramore, and the song itself is relatively simple, relatively poppy, but it's yeah. Some of us have to grow up. No, all of us have to grow up sometime. Is like the main lyric to it, and
Mhm.
I hear it every day when I wake up. And like this year's been a crazy year because like not just along with the community events, but the whole year. I guess I've because I moved into my place alone. I'm just like, oh god, I guess I should grow up because now I've got like some real responsibility. And I guess the song itself, I'm kind of listening to it and I'm like, yeah, maybe I am actually growing up for once, and like I feel like I am. And
Mhm.
it's just been like listening to it like over the last few days specifically. I've just been like, this song's really apt for the time that I'm in right now because I am feeling like I'm growing up and like I'm doing all these responsible things. I got to go and got to go and visit a mine that was 1,100 meters underground. Like, who gets that opportunity? And it's just like it just hit me that I'm just getting the opportunities to do all these cool things. And at work, I'm getting all this equipment because our company was bought by another company, and like I'm kind of in charge, but I'm not in charge. It's nice to
Mhm.
not have all the responsibility like at work, but I have all the responsibility at home, which is like a nice way to find balance. But the song that I've had as my alarm, like I said, Paramore's "Grow Up" kind of reflects the yeah, the sentiment of my year in its entirety, I think. So yeah, that was really cool. Speaking of music, though, has there been any music that you've caught this year that's really like caught your like ear and just been like, oh,
Um,
this is amazing to listen to?
this year, throughout 2014, definitely the Starbomb album. I believe it was released in 2014, the
Well, the
first
first
one.
one, I think it was released Christmas last year.
Oh,
I think it was just at the end of last year. So,
um,
and then the new one's just been released. So we can
it
say the
has.
new
And,
one.
the second one is good. I enjoy it.
I think it's
I
growing on
think,
me. The more I listen to it, the more I like it. It's just like,
yeah, you know what? I stepped into it and kind of expected. I think I got so hyped off the first album that
yeah,
I kind of expected another one like that.
yeah. It to be classic instantly, but
Yeah, and this is just kind of like they're just. I feel like they're riding the wave now rather than like trying to shock you and like give different things. And it's really well put together, you know.
I think it's
But
a little toned down in comparison to the first one.
the first one was definitely a little bit more vulgar, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, that's what I'm
That's
thinking.
for
So
sure.
like, this one is actually a nice change of pace that it isn't as vulgar as the first one was. So I
Yeah.
think that was a defining thing for me that I was like, oh, this is really enjoyable.
Yeah. Um, Other than that, no, I really haven't listened to anything new this year. Nothing has really come out. I mean, the new Ghost Inside CD is out. I haven't picked that up yet.
Okay.
Um, I'm waiting for that. That's gonna be fun to listen to. Especially because I haven't been listening to a lot of music recently, just because I lost my iPod,
Uh-huh.
about 3 months ago, and I just refused to put music on my phone,
Okay.
and it just kind of blows. But yeah, no, unfortunately, there hasn't been any like new music that has really caught my ear this year.
Fair enough. Yeah, I heard. I just got the Marmoset's album, and they're a British-based band, and they just released their debut album like earlier in the year,
Oh,
and it's
nice.
just absolutely incredible. Like Metal Hammer, I think it's sixth on Metal Hammer's top albums of the year. It's not really a metal album; it's just a hard rock album, but it's very, very good, and I can see why a lot of people really, really like it, and I really like it as well. But I've only had it for like 2 weeks or so, so I've just been listening to it, but it's
Mhm.
so damn good. And then Devin Townsend put out his second Ziltoid album, and that was also excellent. But it's exactly what you expect of it, so it's hard to be like, oh, it's absolutely incredible when it's exactly what you expect it to be, because it's kind of like, oh, this is on point. It's exactly where it should be. It's not anything breathtaking or new, but it's exactly what you want it to be. So
You
that
know,
was interesting.
I kind of like that when like bands or artists kind of they have their own style and their flow, and like they switch it up from time to time. But like, I kind of like it when they release new stuff and it's exactly what you expect, because I feel like they kind of just stick to what they know works.
Yeah, I think it's been like 5 albums, not 5 albums. I think it's been
Mhm.
more albums since he actually released the first part of this
Mhm.
story that he's doing. So it's nice that he can like jump straight back into it and pick up the same feeling that was left off from before. So
Right,
that's another
especially
reason I really enjoyed it. It's like,
yeah. I mean, in a case like that, that's great. Then that he's still like keeping it consistent enough, you know.
yeah,
I know a lot of people get fucking upset when like a band releases something and they try something new. It's like, well, yeah, you know, you got it's music. You kind of got to experiment with that stuff. It's like you can't be replacing this like playing the same stuff over and over again. But like I think it's totally great when bands and artists try to go down a little bit of a different path and try to switch things up.
ah, cool. Right, let's wrap this one up.
All right.
I want to see if we can do this. So I've only just thought of this now. How would you describe your 2014 in 5 words or
20.
less? How was this year for you in 5 words or less?
What?
I'm just trying to figure it out.
I think that's mine. Just what?
Yeah. So, what was mine?
Hmm.
I don't know. Like, why did I have to think of this right now?
This sucks. This sucks. I'm really like trying to think really hard on
Yeah.
like to nail the perfect words.
Yeah.
Um, 5 words or less.
I'm gonna say crazy shenanigans with fun community. That's gonna
Crazy
be it for
shenanigans
me.
with fun new community.
That's gonna be my 5 words for 2014. It's been
I got it.
yeah,
One hell of a ride.
yeah. It's been such a year. That's
Mhm.
5 words. Excellent. Right.
Thank you.
With that, everyone, thank you very much for listening. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And yeah, like I said, thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.